How you doing? Dara Smith here with Camille and David from Irish Muscle. Just kicking it back home here on a Sunday. Just look what we found here. All my trophies from my bodybuilding past. Obviously, he's number one. That was last year's NABA Nationals, novice first place. That was my biggest success to date. And that was 2013. Again, long contest prep, good clean off season, good people around me. It just everything just went right for me last year and on the day as well. Like a lot of times when I competed in the past, I felt very ill on the stage. Couldn't get a pump, felt very flat, just didn't feel right. Well, last year was completely different. This was actually my very first show down in Waterford, the Spring Classic in 2008, the RIBBF Spring Classic, the open first timers. I got third. Again, great feeling on the day. That was 2008, I was 22. Then was 2009, the Nationals. To me, it was a big step up to go maybe from Spring Classic to national level. That was Paul Byrne's show at NABA. The novices again was fifth. Wasn't too bad, a little bit disappointed with the effort that went in, but that wasn't a good year all around for me. 2 weeks later, it was in the Helix in DCU, the RIBBF Nationals. Noel McPartlin's show was running, and that was the novices, and that was third place. Again, I was a lot happier with that one than I was with the NABA. Again, made a couple of little changes here, came in a little bit drier, and that we couldn't make too many changes though to get bigger or anything. Then this brings me to this one here, 2011. That was the year. Novices in the sixth. And then I did the RWBF 3 weeks after that, and I got fourth. And that was the biggest disappointment in bodybuilding for me. We tried something different with diet and with training, and it just wasn't right for me. I'm not saying it was wrong, but personally for me, it just wasn't right. We didn't bring to the stage what we expected to bring. Very, very, very disappointed, especially after the Helix show. And that's where Eddie Colgan came in from ProFit Nutrition. And I said to Eddie, I never want to feel like this ever again. And Eddie says, well, let's get back to work then. Back to basics. So that was in a way, it was a big wake-up call. It was a success in a way, but it was a disappointment. You only learn from your biggest disappointments and your biggest mistakes, as far as I'm concerned. If I didn't make the mistakes in 2011, I wouldn't have come back in 2013 with this. And then getting the pose down with some of the greats like Dean again for the overall. To me, that was just a big deal. But we wouldn't have been there if we didn't make the mistakes we made in 2011. So we knew what didn't work for us. We went back to the drawing board. And again, with Eddie in my corner, he just kept nudging me in the right direction. He never said, I want you to do this and this and this. Eddie was always, well, try this and try this. We were down in the Spring Classic in 2012, down in Waterford. And David was competing in it, but the physique that took my breath away was Frank Haley. Me, Eddie Colgan and Liam Welby were sitting in the crowd, and I just said, Eddie, his physique blew me away. The sheer thickness and the density of the muscle in the lad, it was just blew me away. So I said to Eddie, I said, look at that, what do we got to do? And Eddie said, I think he's a power lifter. He says, see that thick, dense muscle in his back and his chest and that? And I was like, yeah. He says, that's where they get that from. And he said, look at JJ, look at his chest and different things. I said, yeah. So that was a big change for me. That's when we actually went back to the drawing board and the training and powerlifting. Sets of 3 to 5, heavy weight, overload the muscle. You want a big chest, big bench. Big legs, big squat. That's the way to thicken the muscle up. So periodically 12 weeks of doing that, and then 12 weeks volume training. 12 weeks of doing that, 12 weeks volume training. And before I knew it, then summertime came around and it was time to get ready to have an assault on this bad boy here. Again, going from off season to contest prep, very little. Off season is diet food all year round, just cutting out little barbecue sauce and ketchup and little things like that here and there. Maybe lowering the carbs if you're carb cycling, high, middle, low, different things like that. There was no big drastic changes that needed to be made. We didn't need to cut carbs out. We just kept slowly pairing in, and Two lads that were really good for me last year. I have to give them a shout out. John O'Toole and Enda writing swords. When I went up to Enda and John, every time I went up to Enda and John, they just instilled in me that belief that I had the tools to win this contest. You know, now Eddie always said, he says, no, you can win it. You're going to win this. But when Enda and John and Eddie, the three lads with the pedigree that they have in the sport of bodybuilding in the country, when they were saying that, I knew things were going right and I didn't want to screw it up. So I just kept doing things the way I was doing them, stay covered up, no selfies going up on Facebook or anything like that, just different things like that. And then the day of the show, we brought what we brought and ended up bringing this fella home, and it was a great success for me personally. Right, just catching me on me cheat day, so I'm doing this just for Irish muscle, by the way. Just brown pasta, chicken fillets. The key for me for bodybuilding in the off season is having a clean off season. So that means diet food all year round. Don't get me wrong, you can have a bit of barbecue sauce here and there. I mean, that's what these bad boys here are done now. Just marinating in barbecue sauce and barbecue marinade overnight. But the big key for me for last year was clean diet food all year round, but just having a bit of salt here and a bit of barbecue sauce there, like chicken, brown rice, brown pasta, sweet potatoes, lean steak, lean red meat, turkey, even white fish. I have a bit of salmon in there for later on then as well. But you can be kind of fancy with your food, like, you know, if you're doing steak, again, marinating, barbecue marinades and a bit of salt and a bit of peppered sauce here or there. It doesn't do you any harm. Make it easier to get down, basically, because you're going to be dieting long enough on the contest prep. So what we're doing here now at the minute is ring on here now. Well, we don't. We have it on now. Gonna weigh. Everything is weighed, by the way. So like 150 to 200 grams of brown pasta, will probably close to 100 to 120 gram of carbs. I'll probably have 3 chicken fillets now today, so they're weighing between 170 and 190 grams now at the minute. And just some green beans then on top of that, and there's 3 meals done straight away, you know. So let's get this stuff up. Everything is weighed, so I know exactly what I'm taking in. A lot of people might not agree with me, but as far as I'm concerned, brown pasta in the off season, it's easy for me to get down. I mean, rice, oh, don't get me started on rice. Only so much of it you can take, and you'll be eating it long enough on a contest prep diet, you know. But when we're boiling, just a bit of salt, a bit of olive oil, throw the pasta in. Once the water is boiling, bring it to a simmer for about 10 minutes. She's nice and chewy and she just glides down. Fairly unusual now for a bodybuilding kitchen not to have a George Foreman grill. Just don't feel the need for it as far as I'm concerned. Oven, steam it as far as your fish goes. Chicken, 3 chicken fillets at 200 degrees in the oven, 18 minutes. Bring them out, cut them down. If she's pink in the middle, throw them back in. If clean white meat in the middle, touch the middle of it. If you have to pull your fingers out straight away, you know it's done. So let's get these bad boys up and running now as well. Basically your baking tray, a bit of tin foil. There's my old supplement press down there now as well. Gotta have the supplements. Now, and this is basically like, I don't do this every day of the week, maybe every 2 or 3 days. You have 5, 6 fillets in a bag, so if you're gonna have 3 a day, and then you have your steak or your white fish for your dinner, and then your oats and your eggs in the morning, protein smoothie and a banana. At least 5 food meals a day has to be done. As far as I'm concerned, supplements and all that, they do have a purpose. They are good, but solid food. The body was never designed to take in only supplements, anything that's made in a lab. Food, that's the only fuel, basically. Even after you train, like a lot of lads will take in whey protein or aminos or creatine and all that. You can get some brown pasta and chicken into, get it in, you know. Let's get this ready. Now, I've 5 fillets in here, so I'm only going to do 3 of them today, and then I'll leave another 2 for later on tonight. I'll cook them before I go into work in the morning. You know, gotta be very careful with the old chicken though. In the off season, yeah, I eat chicken the whole time. But as soon as contest prep starts, so like last year's contest prep was 18 weeks, this year's is going to be 18 weeks again, I actually cut chicken out straight away. I go straight on to turkey. A lot of lads will say, yeah, you don't need to be that drastic so far out and that, but that's what I did last year and worked for me, so I'm just going to keep going with it. You know, I still have a steak meal every day as well. As the contest prep starts, even in the off season when I'm having oats in the morning, oats, honey and raisins, it's all made of water, not milk. So the key is diet food all year round. Dean Hoban, that's what he told me. I remember after the 2011 Nationals in the Helix, the RWBF, myself, Eddie Colgan and Dean were up getting our colour on, and Dean's physique blew me away. I just, jeez, look at it, you know. And he just said, diet food all year round. Bit of ketchup here, bit of barbecue sauce, anything to get the food in. But once contest prep starts, that's the business end of things. But he was right, you know. That's the way I did it. I had 2 years to make the changes when I competed in 2011. Very disappointed showing for myself. Everything was off. I wasn't in shape. I thought I was in shape and I wasn't. So I basically went back to the drawing board. I said, what do we need to do? And when Dean talked to me that night, he just diet food, simple things, hard, heavy training. That's what I did. And 2 years down the line, happy days.